To kick off our program, we like to raise in honor of National Medal of Honor Day, the Medal of Honor flag. Thank you. Please be seated if you have a seat. Good morning. My name is Tom Lyons. I'm chairman of the Medal of Honor Host Committee. And on behalf of the Boston Medal of Honor Host Committee, I want to welcome you to Medal of Honor Park as we recognize today National Medal of Honor Day. Created in 1861 by President Abraham Lincoln, the Medal of Honor is our nation's highest and rarest decoration. It is bestowed by the President of the United States in the name of Congress upon a member of the armed forces who distinguished himself or herself through conspicuous gallantry and intrepidity at the risk of his or her life above and beyond the call of duty, while engaged in action against the enemy of the United States. There are currently 69 living Medal of Honor recipients. Over 300 men have received the Medal of Honor in Massachusetts. We're honored today to have one of those Medal of Honor recipients, Thomas Kelly, Captain, United States Navy, Vietnam. Also, not able to attend today from Methuen, Massachusetts, Ryan Pitts, Staff Sergeant, received his medal for actions in Afghanistan. Also, past recipient of the Medal of Honor was the first African American to receive that medal, Sergeant William Carney, who was on the memorial across from the State House for the 54th. The Medal of Honor Society convention will be back in Boston September 7th through the 11th for the 4th time, which is unprecedented. During the visit, they will visit the State House, schools in and around Boston, visit VA hospitals, the Chelsea Soldiers Home, the New England Center and Home for Veterans. They will board the USS Constitution for a special turnaround cruise. They will hold their memorial service, and on Saturday evening at the BCEC, they will hold their gala dinner, where they will recognize 4 individuals. I want to thank the state, the city of Boston, for all the great support that we have received in past conventions, but also what we're receiving this year. So thank you to the governor and to the mayor. We are honored as a city, once again, to host these true American heroes, and I thank you. It's my pleasure now to introduce Tom Kelly. Tom, as I said, is a captain, retired, United States Navy, Medal of Honor recipient, Vietnam, and Tom will speak to you today on behalf of the Medal of Honor Society.
Thank you, Tommy. Thank you very much. MOH Day was established by President Bush, George Bush, in 1990. Normally, this event is celebrated in Washington, D.C. on that date, and all recipients are invited and were sometimes invited to the White House to be greeted by the president. Then we lay a wreath at the Tomb of the Unknowns at Arlington National Cemetery. So obviously COVID threw a monkey wrench into our plans both last year and this year. But as usual, Boston came through and offered to host the event today. Why March 25th? It was the date of the first medals awarded in 1863, shortly after President Lincoln authorized its issue. We currently have 69 living recipients, including 2 from World War II. It should come as no surprise that Massachusetts has 265 recipients, more than any other state. The first was Sergeant William Carney, a New Bedford native, a member of the 54th Mass Regiment, and the first African-American to receive the medal for his actions at Fort Wagner, South Carolina, on July 16, 1863. The most recent was Sergeant Ryan Pitts from Lowell for his actions on July 13, 2008 in Afghanistan. And right now I'd like to recognize, who's not here unfortunately, Paul Monty of Raynham, Massachusetts, Gold Star Dad of Sergeant Jared Monty, who was awarded the Medal of Honor posthumously for his actions with the 10th Mountain Division in Afghanistan on 21 June 2006. And we have one more Gold Star Dad in the audience today, Andrew Basevich, whose son lost his life in Afghanistan in 2005. So what's the significance of Medal of Honor Day? Most of you, I'm sure, were not even aware of its existence. I believe the day has merit because it gives all of us the chance to remember the values embodied in the medal: courage, sacrifice, integrity, commitment, patriotism, and citizenship. These are values which we talk about with school children under our character development program aimed at high school and elementary students, showing them that they don't need to be a soldier or a first responder in order to make a difference in someone's life. They, and each of us, can perform a small act of kindness that will make a difference, choosing the right thing to do instead of the easy thing, even knowing that you may be scorned or criticized for doing so. That's the message on National Medal of Honor Day, and why I'm so proud to be part of it here in the wonderful city of Boston and Commonwealth of Massachusetts. Looking back 20 years to September 2001, Medal of Honor Convention to be held in Boston for the first time, starting the very next day, September 12th. We were sitting in Dusty Rhodes' office in the Boston Design Center at about 2 o'clock in the afternoon on that day with Tommy Lyons, Barney Barnum, who was the president at Society, Dusty and a gang, looking over at Logan Airport. And not a thing was moving over there, not a thing, except F-16s flying overhead. Had to postpone the convention, of course, but rescheduled for 6 weeks later, and held the very first convention in Boston after 9/11. Kind of keeping Boston strong, our slogan, after marathon bombing on Patriots' Day 2013. Now here we are again for the unprecedented 4th time, which tells you mountains about how our recipients feel about Boston and its warm hospitality. A city known since the American Revolution for its resilience, optimism, and patriotism, the very same values of the Medal of Honor. And I thank you for being here today and ask that you keep in your hearts the message that you too can make a difference. Thank you.
Thank you, Tom. It's my pleasure now to introduce the Governor, Charlie Baker, who has been at this memorial in South Boston every September since he's been governor, the only governor to ever attend one of our South Boston Vietnam Memorial ceremonies. But also back in 2015, Governor Baker was certainly a great advocate for the Medal of Honor recipients coming back to the state. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's my honor to introduce Governor Baker.
Good morning, and thank you all for being here today. You know, I'm going to start with a story that I think illustrates the humility and the dignity of the men and women who serve in our military, and the sense of sort of anonymity that comes with civilian life after their time in active duty. In the spring of 2015, shortly after Karen Polito and I had been elected lieutenant governor and governor, we got a call from Tom Lyons, who, as we all know, is the most powerful corporal in the U.S. military, who said he wanted us to sit down for a meeting to talk about the upcoming Medal of Honor gathering that was going to take place here in Massachusetts. And so we said, sure, love to talk about it. So there's a group of about 10 or 12 of them who came up to my office, and it was, I don't know, the 15th meeting of the day, and they all introduced themselves to me very quickly, and we all sat down and we started talking about the event. And I asked folks if there was anything in particular they wanted, and one of the guys raised his hand and he said, I'd really like a helicopter ride. And I thought, okay. And so then we finished the meeting, we set up all the logistics, we get everything arranged, and then we take pictures at the end of the meeting, which is what usually would happen. And so I'm standing next to this guy, and he says, how about that helicopter ride? And I said, well, we'll talk about that one later. And he's looking up at me, and he goes, you know, you're pretty tall. And I said, yeah, I hear that a lot. And he said, I used to fly with a guy who was about your height. And I said, really? That's great. And he said, yeah, his name was, we called him Too Tall. And I said, that's really interesting, because there's a guy named Ed Freeman, whose nickname was Too Tall, who received the Medal of Honor for his work as a helicopter pilot rescuing wounded soldiers in the Ia Drang Valley, which was one of the most brutal battles in the Vietnam War. And in fact, the really interesting thing was they wanted to give the Medal of Honor to his commanding officer, a guy named Bruce Crandall. But Crandall said no, that they should give it instead to his wingman, Ed Freeman. And then after they gave it to Freeman, they came back and said, Bruce, you really ought to be willing to accept this. You were every bit as important in this as Ed was. And the guy looks up at me, he goes, yeah, I know, Bruce Crandall. That's what I said when I came in. I mean, Bruce Crandall's like royalty. And the number of people that he and Ed Freeman saved that day is just beyond compare. And the courage that they showed is just beyond compare. And yet there he was, just a guy in a suit, no airs about him at all. And until I actually pointed out who Bruce Crandall was, he didn't say anything about it at all. And we did get those guys some helicopter rides when they came. And if they would like helicopter rides when they come back, all we have to do is talk to the National Guard about it and see what we can do. Because we use those helicopter rides to take them out to meet with kids, high school kids, middle school kids, and to talk to them about the value and the importance of patriotism and serving your country and serving your community. And it was a glorious and beautiful thing. So I don't know if Bruce is coming back, but if he does, we'll see if we can get him a helicopter ride. And I also want to mention both of the Toms who are here, okay? That's Tom Hudner Jr., whose father was also a Medal of Honor recipient for deliberately crash landing his plane on a mountain in freezing temperatures in the Korean War to try to rescue Jesse Brown, who was another Corsair pilot who had crashed and was trapped inside his plane. And Tom tried desperately hard to get Jesse out, and he couldn't get him out, and I know that that haunted him probably for the rest of his life. But as a story about friendship, the story between Tom Hudner Sr. and Jesse Brown, Tom Hudner Sr., white, Jesse Brown, black, one of the first African-American pilots to fly Corsairs for the U.S. military, was an amazing story, and it's one that that actually served as a I think it was a seminal moment and a seminal event for a lot of people in military service. And both these Toms, Hudner and Tom Kelly, spent their entire lives after their time in service and after their recognition, paying it forward time and time again. They were back-to-back Veterans Affairs secretaries here in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, and Tom Kelly has served as the president of the Medal of Honor Society at various points along the way, and the two of them really represent, in some respects, not just the very best of America's military, but the very best of the people of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. And I'm thrilled, Tom Jr., to see you here today and be able to say a few words about your dad on his behalf. And the final thing I want to say, and I'm so bummed that Paul Monty is not here, because I carry Jared Monty's challenge coin with me everywhere I go. And the reason I carry this challenge coin is because I want to be reminded time and time again that people pay an enormous price to grant us this opportunity to participate in this great thing we call democracy. And there's all kinds of stuff that goes on day in and day out associated with these roles in public life. And some of them are difficult and some of them are nice and fun and charming. But the bottom line is, without people like this, we would not have the chance to do what we do. And I think it's critically important that we all remember it. And Paul Monty, I don't know what the weather's going to be like or what COVID's going to be like come Memorial Day, but if we've gotten a lot of people vaccinated and the federal government's amped up the supply and COVID is in the rearview mirror, I know where you'll find Paul Monty. He'll be down at the National Cemetery on the Cape, along with many other people planting flags on that Memorial Day on every single grave in that cemetery. Something he's been doing for years as a way to sort of honor his son and those who've been lost in fighting for the freedom and the democracy of this country. This is a really special organization, Tom, as you know better than anybody else. And I'm glad people mentioned William Carney because his story is another story of true heroism. And I can't wait to have the Medal of Honor folks here in the Commonwealth so that we can give them the kind of time that they deserve and honor and thank them for who they are and what they've done and what they stand for and represent. And I'm thrilled that you decided to have an event here this year, despite all the issues associated with COVID. And thank you all very much for coming out. Much appreciated. And I have to say to you, Mayor, to the best of my knowledge, there's only one other mayor who's ever gone to any of these events, and that was your predecessor. And I'm thrilled to see you here making a statement about how important these types of people and these organizations are to the nature of who we are in Massachusetts. Thank you.
Thank you, Governor. Just to follow up on the Tom Hudner story of Tom's actions in Korea, trying to save the life of Jesse Brown, Hollywood is making a movie of it as we speak. I spoke to Tom Hudner Jr., who was down in Savannah, Georgia, where part of it's being filmed. So it's great to know that the story of Tom Hudner and Jesse Brown is being made into a movie. As I said to Tom Jr., I hope they don't screw it up, because it is such a heartwarming story of two pilots who just became friends at a time when it wasn't popular in the military. So, Tom Jr., thank you for being here today. What a great honor it is for me now to be able to introduce the mayor of the city of Boston, Mayor Kim Janey, excuse me, and we can't thank you enough, Madam Mayor, for being here today. And please come forward and say a few words.
Good morning. Is it still morning? Good morning, and thank you, Chairman Tom Lyons, for your leadership in having me today. I want to thank and acknowledge elected officials here today representing city, state, and federal government. Governor Baker, thank you so much. Congressman Lynch, thank you. Where did he go? Thank you. Senator Nick Collins, also folks representing South Boston, Senator Michael Rush, Senator David Beal, and certainly my dear, dear friend, Councilor Flynn. Thank you so much, not only for being here, for your leadership, and for your service. I also want to thank and acknowledge Commissioner Rob Santiago. Thank you. Secretary Cheryl Pop, Commander John Benda, Major Dan Wheeler. I appreciate all of the veterans, neighbors, and leaders who have gathered here today. I especially want to thank our guests of honor, of the Medal of Honor recipients. Your bravery and your dedication certainly inspires us all, and I'd ask everyone to just give another round of applause. Thank you. Boston has a long tradition of respecting our veterans and active service members, and it's one of the things that I love about our city. Many folks know that I come from a family of educators and entrepreneurs and artists and advocates, but people do not know that I also come from a military family. And so it is just great to be here to celebrate with you. My grandfather served honorably in World War II, and yesterday I used his Bible to take the oath of office as mayor of Boston. I am deeply, deeply grateful for the individuals who proudly serve our great country. Their service and sacrifice keeps our nation safe and secure. As mayor, I am committed to supporting our veterans and ensuring all those who serve return home with dignity and respect. The City of Boston shares a special connection with the veteran community. In September 2021, and you've already heard this, our city will host the Congressional Medal of Honor Society's convention for the 4th time. Medal of Honor Park is part of our city's special connection with veterans. This is one of the most important parks in our city. It's become a special place for comfort and remembrance here in South Boston. We rededicate this memorial park each year as our way of showing respect for the families and friends of those who had made the ultimate sacrifice, and to ensure that they did not die in vain. As our city emerges from the pandemic with recovery, reopening, and renewal, our parks play an important role in Boston's healing and renewal. In these challenging times, it is important to have safe places where community can gather to pay respects to those we have lost. And I want to thank the city's Parks Department for helping us protect and preserve these spaces as we honor our heroes and our Medal of Honor recipients. Thank you very much for the opportunity to be with you today, and many thanks again to all of those who serve our country so proudly.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I want to take a minute just to recognize and thank certainly this South Boston delegation who have supported all that we have done here at this memorial and the World War II Memorial and the Korean War Memorial that we have here in South Boston. They have always been with us every September, so I want to thank the delegation once again for being here. Also want to thank, there's many members of the host committee that are here today. I want to thank them for taking time out of their schedules. Many, like myself, put our suit on for the first time in a year, so it's great to see you all. It's my pleasure now to introduce a good friend, the congressman who has represented this community as a state rep, state senator, and has been a congressman for as long as I can remember. Anyway, which isn't long, Congressman, because I'm getting old and I have memory loss. But ladies and gentlemen, our Congressman, Stevie Lynch. Oh, thanks, fella. Thanks, fella. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Tom. Does anybody work? I thought there'd be 5 of us up here by ourselves, Tom, but great to see Tom Kelly. God bless you, my friend. Thank you for your service. And to the host committee, I want to say thank you. There's a reason that the Medal of Honor Society is coming back for their 4th time, and it is really the relationship. It is the warm embrace of the South Boston community and the city of Boston and the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. Governor, you've been absolutely tremendous on this and have really, I think, sent that message that we honor in the Commonwealth. We honor military service, and we respect it, and we will do everything we can to make sure that those Medal of Honor recipients and their families who arrive here will know the depth of our respect and our appreciation of them. And Madam Mayor, you notice the governor, we didn't use the term acting mayor because when you think about it, we're all acting, right? Some of us admit it, some of us don't. But I just want to say, as a member of Congress from the 8th Congressional District, who just dropped a check off to you for $434 million, we know that you will spend that wisely. And that was equally shared by the work was equally shared by all the members of the delegation, but especially Ms. Presley, my colleague from the city of Boston. And we know that money will be wisely spent by the city of Boston and also by the Commonwealth as well. I just want to say thank you. Thank you to the host committee. Thank you to our veterans. The brothers of the 25 men who are remembered behind me, and Tom Lyons especially, have maintained this memorial. But more than that, they have remembered their brothers in arms and their sisters in arms and their service. And that relationship as well is one of the reasons that the Medal of Honor Society is coming back. And again, we'll have the honor of hosting them at their convention. I want to thank all of the personnel in the military who are here today, all those veterans who have served. You do us a great honor by allowing us to host this convention. God bless you all. Please be safe, and may God bless the United States of America. Thank you.
Thank you, Congressman Lynch. You know, as the congressman said, we've been maintaining this park for many years. And in fact, this coming September will be the 40th anniversary of the dedication of the South Boston Vietnam Memorial. And I think what I would say about our memorial is certainly we remember, but I think for me as a Vietnam veteran and having gone to school or played ball with many of those names on our memorial, the fact that we've been doing it for 40 years, never missing a September, speaks to the commitment, the dedication, and the love that we have for those 25 guys. So hopefully, Madam Mayor, Governor, Congressman, our delegation will join us once again in September as we salute 40 years of remembering our friends from the neighborhood. At this time, I would like to have Commander John Bender, if you would, Commander, escort Captain Kelly. And I would ask Secretary Cheryl Poppy to escort Tom Hudner Jr. as we place a wreath at the memorial for all the Medal of Honor recipients. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for being here today. And on behalf, again, of the host committee, we look forward to seeing you in September. And I'll just close with a quote that we use when we talk about our heroes. Poor is the nation that has no heroes. Shameful is the nation that has them and forgets. Thank you for being here today and remembering.